Welcome to English Anyway, where we learn English, no pressure, no perfection. I'm Benji.
And I'm Lucy.
Let's go.
Right. So today we're looking at a situation that honestly creates anxiety for almost everyone.
Oh yeah, regardless of what language you're speaking, really.
Exactly. We are focusing on the art of natural introductions today. And this is specifically tailored for those of you listening who are, right around that A2 to B1 level in your English journey.
Yeah, and I know from my own personal experience just how intimidating this topic can be. I mean, I still remember my very first professional networking event from, oh, a few years ago now.
Oh no, I can already tell this is going to be a rough story.
It was really rough. I wanted to practice introducing myself, so I walked right up to a group of people, waited for a slight pause in their conversation, and just loudly blurted out, "Hello, my name is Benji."
Just right in the middle of the group.
Right in the middle, and then my mind just went completely blank. I had basically used up all my English in one single sentence.
Oh, that is the worst feeling.
We all just stood there in terrified silence for what felt like
10 minutes.
at least 10 minutes, yeah, until I pretended my phone was vibrating and I just quickly walked away. It felt incredibly robotic, completely unnatural.
Well, listen, that is a very common experience. We've all been in that exact situation at some point.
For sure.
When you're learning English, it's so incredibly easy to focus entirely on uh, translating the grammar in your head.
Yeah.
You get so caught up in the mechanics of the language that you just forget how to have a normal human interaction.
Right, you forget to just be a person.
Exactly. So our goal today is to give you the conversational tools to introduce yourself to a stranger without feeling like you're reading from a rigid script. We want you to sound comfortable, approachable, and confident.
But before we jump into those tools, we need you to do something for us.
Yes, very important.
As you listen to our deep dive today, you need to actually practice speaking these phrases out loud. Whether you're, driving your car, cooking dinner in your kitchen, or just walking the dog, you must use your voice today.
Because speaking it out is making it yours.
Right. You cannot just listen passively if you want to improve. You have to train those muscles in your mouth to form the words. And please, whatever you do, don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Making mistakes is literally the entire point of being here with us.
Exactly. And to help with that, we are going to take everything today at a very steady, relaxed pace, so you can practice right along with us. No rushing.
Love that. So to avoid those deeply awkward moments of silence like your networking event,
Please, let's move past my trauma.
fair enough. We first need to understand what makes an introduction successful in English-speaking cultures. A genuinely natural introduction is really about giving the other person a complete picture of who you are, and this is key without oversharing.
Right, without dumping your whole life story on them.
Exactly. You want to offer just enough context about your life to invite a conversation, rather than, delivering a long monologue about your entire history.
That makes a lot of sense conceptually. But how do we actually find that balance in practice?
Yeah.
Because if I just walk up and say, "I am from London," it feels a bit short, maybe a bit closed off.
Yeah, it doesn't leave them much to work with.
But I also know I shouldn't give them my entire resume right away.
That is exactly where our first two core vocabulary phrases come in. They're designed to work together to create that perfect balance. The first phrase is originally from.
Originally from.
Yes. This phrase is incredibly useful because it tells someone where you grew up, but it implies a journey. It tells the listener that your story didn't just end where you were born.
Oh, I like that. It leaves room for what comes next.
Right. It naturally leaves room for the second piece of the conversational puzzle, which is the word currently.
Ah, I see how that works. So the word currently fills in the gap of what I'm doing right now, in this present moment. It bridges the past and the present seamlessly.
Exactly. Let's look at how that sounds when we put it together.
Okay, so for instance, I might say, "I'm originally from Taichung, but I live in Taipei now. I'm currently working in tech."
Perfect. That combination gives a much richer, more dynamic picture than just stating your name and your job title. It grounds you in the conversation.
It gives you a reliable structural formula, so you don't have to panic about grammar in the heat of the moment.
Yes. And if you're a university student, the formula works exactly the same way. You might simply adjust the ending and say, "I'm originally from Madrid, but I'm currently studying design."
I want you, the listener, to try this right now, wherever you are. Think about your own hometown, your current city, and what you do for work or what you're studying.
Take your time.
Build your own sentence in your mind and then speak it out loud right now. I'm originally from, but I live in not currently.
Getting comfortable with that specific combination is so crucial. It gives you a really safe foundation. But
There's always a but.
there is. Before you can even share that background information, you actually have to walk up to someone and initiate the conversation.
Right, the approach. This is definitely a huge hurdle. Is there a better, more natural way to approach someone than my disastrous, hello, my name is method?
Yeah.
Because I always feel like I'm interrupting them.
There absolutely is a better way. The ultimate friendly opener in conversational English is this very simple phrase. I don't think we've met. I'm followed by your first name.
I don't think we've met.
Yeah.
That is really interesting. It feels a lot softer, more inviting than a direct, formal greeting.
Mm.
Why does that specific combination of words work so well in social situations?
It works so effectively because of the psychology behind the social interaction.
Okay, unpack that for me.
Well, when you approach a stranger at a gathering, there's almost always a split second of panic on their face where they think, wait, do I know this person? Did I forget their name? Have we met
Oh,
before?
totally. I get that panic all the time.
Right. So by starting your sentence with, I don't think we've met, you instantly remove that social pressure. You acknowledge right away that you are strangers, which makes the introduction feel warm, self-aware, and very relaxed.
It takes away all the anxiety for both people. I don't think we've met. I'm Alex.
Exactly.
I want you listening to try saying that out loud with your own name right now. Say, I don't think we've met. I'm and your name. It immediately transforms you from a nervous language learner into a confident, relaxed conversationalist.
And once you've opened the door with that phrase, you might need to provide a tiny bit of context about why you are in the same room together.
Right, setting the scene.
Yeah, we use light, event-specific phrases for this purpose. If you're at a casual party, you simply say, I'm here for a friend's gathering.
What if it's a professional setting, though? Saying something like, I am attending the mandatory corporate training session. Sounds a bit heavy for a quick introduction.
Definitely too heavy. In those professional settings, you still want to keep things light and easy. You can just say, I'm here for a workshop or I'm here for the conference.
Keep it broad.
Exactly. The goal isn't to give a detailed itinerary of your day. It's simply to establish a quick piece of common ground.
And building on that common ground usually means asking questions. Like, if we're standing at that workshop, I suppose I could ask something like, what brings you here?
That is a perfect follow-up question. What brings you here? It's an open-ended question, meaning it requires more than a simple yes or no answer from the other person.
It invites them to share a bit of their story.
Right. And if you're at a party and you have a mutual friend, you can adapt that strategy by asking, how do you know Jamie?
Okay, but what about when the conversation naturally winds down? Because in my experience, the hardest part of an introduction is sometimes figuring out how to actually leave the conversation without seeming rude or abrupt.
Oh, the exit strategy.
Yeah.
Having an exit strategy is just as important as having an opening strategy.
Agreed.
A great wrap-up phrase to have ready in your back pocket is, we should keep in touch. Are you on Instagram?
Or you might say LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
Depending on whether it's a social or a professional setting.
Exactly. It signals that you genuinely enjoyed the chat and want to connect, which then allows you to naturally excuse yourself to grab a drink or say hello to someone else without any lingering awkwardness.
Okay, now that we have these core vocabulary pieces and phrases, we really need to see how they actually fit together in a real flowing conversation. Let's do a role play to demonstrate this for you.
Yes. And as promised, we will speak at a steady, relaxed teacher's pace, so you can really hear the pronunciation, the rhythm, and the natural flow of the interaction.
For our first scene, imagine two people meeting through a mutual friend. They're at a casual weekend gathering, maybe standing near the kitchen, and they're about to interact for the very first time. I'll play person A, and you can be person B.
Sounds good. Let's set the scene and begin.
Hi. I don't think we've met. I'm Alex.
Hey, I'm Debbie. Nice to meet you.
You too. How do you know Jamie?
We work together. What about you?
We went to university together. Have you been here long?
Just arrived, actually. Is this your first time at one of these?
Let's pause there and analyze this interaction line by line for you. Alex started with our recommended opener, I don't think we've met, which instantly set a relaxed, friendly tone.
It really did.
But right after Debbie said it was nice to meet him, Alex asked, how do you know Jamie?
In conversational English, we call that specific technique a bridge. A bridge is a piece of shared information, like a mutual friend, or even just the venue you are standing in, that connects two total strangers and makes them feel safe talking to each other.
I see. It bridges the gap between them.
Exactly.
That strategy takes a lot of pressure off. Instead of trying to think of a brilliant, highly original topic to discuss, Alex just uses their mutual friend Jamie as the bridge. But I did notice something interesting about Debbie's response.
What's that?
When she says, "We work together, what about you?" She keeps her answer incredibly short. Isn't that considered impolite? Should she have explained what their job is or how long they have worked together?
Not at all. In an initial English introduction, keeping your answer concise is actually the preferred method. It leaves room for a natural back and forth rhythm.
Oh, that makes sense.
By answering simply and immediately asking, "What about you?" Debbie takes all the conversational pressure off Alex to perform. She shows she's engaged and willing to share the effort of keeping the chat alive.
English small talk is very much like a game of ping pong, isn't it?
It really is. Short, frequent exchanges are much better than long, one-sided monologues.
It's a really nice, equitable balance. Alex answers that they went to university together, and then he throws out another casual question, "Have you been here long?"
And Debbie replies, "Just arrived, actually? Is this your first time at one of these?" The whole exchange feels very cooperative and easy to maintain.
That cooperative rhythm is the true secret to English small talk. Neither person is dominating the conversation. They're taking turns relying on the environment and the mutual friend to guide the topics.
Exactly. If you find yourself at a party, use the host as your anchor. Let the shared connection do the heavy lifting for you so your brain doesn't have to work so hard.
That works great at a party where you actually have a mutual friend to rely on. But what if you don't have that shared connection? What if you're traveling and you're just sitting next to a total stranger on a train in Tokyo, or maybe grabbing a table at a crowded coffee shop in London?
That is definitely a more intimidating scenario for language learners. Striking up a conversation from absolute zero requires a slightly different approach because you have to build the bridge from scratch.
Right.
However, the underlying principles of keeping it light and sharing the conversational effort are exactly the same.
Let's do another role play to demonstrate this specific travel scenario. Let's imagine we are sitting at a busy, crowded cafe in a foreign city. I need to ask to sit near you because there are no other open tables.
Perfect scenario.
Again, we will keep that steady, deliberate pace so you can listen closely to the phrasing. I will be person A, and you will be person B.
Ready when you are.
Excuse me, is this seat taken?
No, go ahead.
Thanks. I'm Mark, by the way.
Hi, Mark. I'm Debbie. First time in Tokyo.
Yeah. What brings you here?
Just traveling for a week. I'm originally from Taiwan. You?
Let's break down why this specific travel interaction works so smoothly. It starts with an extremely common and polite interruption. Excuse me. Is this seat taken?
This phrase is a fantastic tool to memorize if you travel frequently. In English-speaking cultures, people value their personal space, especially in cafes or on trains.
Very true.
Asking, "Is this seat taken?" is polite because it respects the other person's physical space, but it also gently opens the door for communication.
Wow.
If they smile and say no, you have an opportunity to connect.
Right after that, Mark introduces himself, but he adds something very specific to the end of his sentence. He says, "Thanks. I'm Mark, by the way." I actually use, by the way, quite a lot in my own conversations without really thinking about the mechanics of it. What's the actual function of that phrase in this context?
Adding, by the way, to the end of an introduction makes the entire sentence feel like an afterthought. It signals to the other person, "I am not demanding a long, intense conversation right now. I'm just casually offering my name."
Oh, so it acts as a pressure release valve.
Exactly. It significantly reduces any social pressure, making the interaction feel highly natural rather than forced or intrusive.
And Debbie picks up on that casual energy perfectly. She says, "Hi, Mark. I'm Debbie. First time in Tokyo." Since they don't have a mutual friend, she uses the city itself as the bridge.
Brilliant move on her part.
Mark answers yes, and then he asks our core phrase, "What brings you here?" I want to pause on this phrase for our listeners. The intonation here is really critical for making it sound friendly, isn't it?
It absolutely is. I want you, the listener, to practice this out loud right now, wherever you are. Say, "What brings you here?"
Notice the tone there.
Listen closely to how the pitch of the voice naturally falls a little bit at the very end of the word here. It shouldn't sound sharp, high-pitched, or aggressive like an interrogation. It should be a relaxed, open, downward intonation. Try it again. "What brings you here?"
It sounds so welcoming and warm when you let the pitch drop naturally like that. And Debbie's response to that question is a brilliant combination of our core phrases.
Yes, she says, "Just traveling for a week. I'm originally from Taiwan. You?"
She answers his question about why she's in Tokyo. She adds her personal background using originally from to give him some context. And then she immediately asks you, to invite Mark to share his own story.
She provides context without oversharing, and then quickly passes the attention back.
That concept of passing the attention back is actually the most critical lesson in this entire discussion. The biggest mistake learners make when introducing themselves in English actually has nothing to do with using the wrong vocabulary or messing up a complex grammar rule.
That is correct. The most common and frankly the most uncomfortable mistake is simply silence.
Silence. This brings us right back to my terrible networking story at the very beginning of our discussion.
The trauma returns.
You gather all your courage, you walk up to a group of people and you say, "Hi, I'm Benji." And then you stop talking. You wait for them to do the work of continuing the conversation.
That silence creates a deeply awkward moment for everyone involved. The other person is staring at you, wondering what you want or what you are going to say next, and you're staring at them completely paralyzed.
It's awful.
Many language learners fall into this trap because they're focusing so intensely on translating their greeting and making sure their pronunciation is perfect that they completely forget to plan for what comes next.
So how do we fix this internally? How do we train our brains to avoid that terrifying silence when we're already nervous about speaking English?
We need to use a psychological and conversational concept called the pass.
The pass.
Yes. You have to start thinking of an English introduction as passing a ball in a sport or a game. Stating your name or stating where you are from is not a full stop. Every single time you finish sharing a piece of information about yourself, you must throw a question back to the other person.
I really love that analogy. It frames conversation as a cooperative activity rather than a solo performance. When you ask a question, you're handing the ball over to the other person. You're giving them their turn to play the game.
Exactly. Let's contrast the awkward way and the smooth way so you can really hear and feel the difference.
Good idea.
Here is the awkward way without using the pass. Hi, I'm Debbie.
Ouch. It feels very abrupt, almost like a wall has been hit. The energy of the interaction completely dies.
Now try the smooth, flowing way using the pass. You would say, "Hi, I'm Debbie. How do you know the host?"
The moment you ask, "How do you know the host?" you can literally feel the tension disappear from the room. The pressure is completely off you.
You don't have to scramble to think of another grammatically correct English sentence to say, because now it is their turn to speak. The ball is firmly in their hands.
This is a vital strategy for anyone learning a new language. Asking a question isn't just a polite social convention. It is a highly tactical way to give your brain a rest.
Very tactical. While the other person is busy answering your question, you can relax, listen to their vocabulary, catch your breath, and calmly plan your next thought.
It's the ultimate conversation hack. You state a quick fact about yourself, and then you immediately pass the ball. I'm originally from Taichung. What about you?
Or, I'm currently studying design. What brings you to this event?
Always pass the ball. Never hold on to it and create silence.
To recap everything we have explored today, creating natural introductions is about blending a few specific elements together seamlessly. You want to combine your background using originally from with your present situation using the word currently.
And you want to use that brilliant low-pressure opener whenever possible. I don't think we've met. You want to use your physical environment or your mutual friends to build a bridge, asking things like, "What brings you here?" or "How do you know Jamie?"
And above all else, you must remember the core rule. An introduction is never a full stop. You always want to pass the conversational ball back to the other person with a simple question to keep the dialogue moving and to give yourself a moment to breathe.
We have spent all our time today talking about the vocabulary and what to say, but we want to leave you with a new thought to explore on your own.
Something beyond the words.
Right. What is your physical body language doing during these introductions?
That is a fascinating thing to consider, and it's something many learners overlook entirely. You might have the perfect intro and pass combination memorized flawlessly, but if your arms are tightly crossed across your chest or you're staring nervously down at the floor, the interaction will still feel closed off.
Because your body is contradicting your words.
Exactly. The right words delivered with a rigid, nervous posture can completely change how your message is received by a native speaker.
So next time you walk into a room, pay attention to your shoulders. Are they relaxed? Are you offering a warm, genuine smile when you ask, "Is this seat taken?" Your physical presence and your posture speak just as loudly as the English phrases you are practicing.
Take some time today to mentally draft your own personal introduction and practice delivering it in front of a mirror with open, relaxed body language so it is completely ready the very next time you need it.
And remember our mission from the start of the show. Practice these phrases out loud right now. Take ownership of your learning journey.
Because speaking it out is making it yours.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today. Anyway, keep practicing, don't be afraid to make mistakes, and we'll see you next time.